Here's what the vice president has been up to. She toured a clean energy laboratory on the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee campus today, touting, of course, that $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan during her visit to Wisconsin, her first visit to Wisconsin since taking office. I'm going to bring in Fox 6's Jason Calvi with the details of her visit today. Jason, thanks for being with us.
Great to be with you. Yeah, so she came here to the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee because part of that $2.3 trillion infrastructure package includes $180 billion for research and development, kind of like some of the work that they do right here at UWM, including, as you can see here, solar panels. She said right before leaving Milwaukee at Mitchell International Airport that it's a great work to expand the country's energy grid, though she said that does require investment. So what she's doing right now is she's coming to this key battleground state. She's touting this infrastructure plan and showing how it may help an institution like UWM, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and all of the work they're doing here. She visited a couple different laboratories, clean energy laboratories inside the building here, including a wind turbine. Then after she spoke with scientists and heard a little bit about their work, including work to cut down on the time it takes to charge an electric vehicle, one of the projects they're working on right inside the building is to cut down on the time it takes to charge an electric vehicle down to getting that battery charged within 15 minutes. So that's some of the technology they're working on here in Milwaukee. And she wanted to highlight that, as she says, this infrastructure package that is going to be fiercely debated and is being fiercely debated across the country right now is a good, wise investment for the future. She says it will create jobs. It will help us to lead globally on these issues of infrastructure, research, development, and the energy of the future. So those are some of the things she spoke about here. She had a roundtable discussion where she heard from some scientists. She even heard from a fifth grade student from a Milwaukee public school talking about what they're doing at her school to help the environment, catching rainwater, for example, and trying to purify that rainwater before it goes down into the one of the rivers, one of the streams here in Milwaukee. So that's the highlights of what she did here in Milwaukee as the Biden administration really tries to sell the country on this $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan.
And Jason, one thing I thought was really interesting, it wasn't all about clean energy today. She heard from two lawmakers in Wisconsin, GOP lawmakers, about the southern border. Can you explain that?
Yes, so there are two lawmakers in the state assembly, the Assembly Majority Leader Jim Steineke and another lawmaker. And what they did was they actually wrote a letter to the vice president saying, you know, the vice president was tasked, President Biden tasked Vice President Harris to lead the administration's response to that situation on the southern border. We've seen those images of the migrants flocking into the country and flooding the apparatus on the southern border. And President Biden has picked Vice President Harris to oversee the administration's response. Republicans throughout Wisconsin, and we're the ones in the assembly who wrote her a letter today, as well as our Republican Senator Ron Johnson, all bringing up that issue of the southern border and saying, hey, why are you coming to Milwaukee when you haven't yet visited the situation on the southern border? So you're hearing that from Republicans across the state of Wisconsin saying, well, we're glad you're visiting the state of Wisconsin, but really, why aren't you visiting the southern border? So it's part of their critique of the administration, of the Biden administration, and Vice President Kamala Harris.
All right, Fox 6's Jason Calvi out there for us. Thanks for breaking it all down.